Okay, so I'm here with Mikaël Roost. He's the filmmaker behind the film 5, Films Competition in London. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I hope you don't mind me referring to you as a filmmaker. It's a bit of a catch-all, and I know.
I love this term, actually.
Okay.
I put it on my business card.
Okay. Yeah, if you can just tell us briefly what the film is about. I know what it's about, but it's also the benefit
All right,
of people.
so this film is about 5 youngsters who live in Geneva. They are like, how do you say, they live in the city. They are not country kids.
So in Geneva or wherever it is, the film is based there.
That's right. And under the initiative of one of them, instead of going to the swimming pool, they go to a river, a little bit in the nature, so actually quite in the nature. And so I wanted to explore with this film the idea of the first flutters of love and romantic excitement. So it's about how the boys and the girls who are supposedly friends are looking for the boundary between friendship and love at the age of 13 years old. That's very much what, for me, this film is about.
Yeah, I can remember it's been like at 13, actually. It reminds me of what it was like for me at that age. So where did the idea come from? How did this all come about? Because it's quite unusual, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, it's
and
not
obviously
so
you've got to be
common.
quite very tasteful, I understand it, but apart from that, you know, where did this idea originate?
Yeah, I guess it's not, you're right, it's not so common. The idea for me was to investigate the passing of, let's say, the growing up time between how to say it?
Well, I think, forgive me, I think what we're trying to, the moment when you leave adolescence and you're starting to become perhaps a young adult or
yes,
teenager.
I wanted to explore the passage between childhood and adulthood, and through adolescence. So it's something that is, I think, very interesting because it's an age where lots of things happen, lots of things occur, and the personality is forming. So I find the kids to be really interesting in that sense, working with kids, because you can start seeing like how they will become as an adult, and maybe you can get a wrong idea because some kids are really looking for themselves at the same time. They are exploring different directions and different connections with people. So everything is open at that age. Everything is possible. That's what I like. So I decided to explore that transition in 3 different films, and that will be the first one.
Oh, that's interesting. So, okay, so where did you literally wake up one day and think, I'm going to make a film about this? So where did it originate?
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I worked a lot with kids in a school.
Yeah.
When I needed to earn some money for living.
We all have to do that, Michael, unfortunately.
Yes. So I have a friend who was a teacher at primary school, and it started when he asked me to go along to accompany a camp in the mountain with his class. Yeah. And I found this so wonderful, and I took my camera with me, and so I made a short film, and it was such a success with the kids after the camp that I renewed the experience. I wanted to renew the experience, and then so I went along accompanying another camp of his class, and then since he saw that I had such a good connection with the kids, that friend suggested I should work in what you call maison de quartier in Geneva. It's like a kind of social network for kids when they finish school and the parents cannot pick them up at 4. And
like an after-school thing.
After-school thing, which is not in the school, but it's like it's next to school. And we organize activities and stuff like that. So I took on a formation. We say that like a class to get ready for that. And then I applied and I started working regularly in that domain. So I worked with a lot of kids and also in the school, and also when teachers were sick or in the classroom, sometimes I was replacing them.
Right, okay.
So this was a few years in my life where I've been really involved with kids, and I think this is when the idea started.
So this is part of a triptych or trilogy, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And will you use the same actors in 4 years? Is that the idea?
No, actually.
Because I would have. Oh, sorry. I'm sure.
No, please.
But what a brilliant idea that would be.
That would be a good idea, but it's actually would be quite tough. It's already
because they
hard
might move, and I don't know. God knows what happens.
Yes, you don't know what they become really.
Yeah.
So I decided to explore the growing of the kids, but with different kids. Like let's say the new one, the one I just shot, is with 15, 16 years old.
Right, so you've made that already, the sequel kind of to this, or not a sequel, but a different chapter in growing up.
Exactly. Yeah. The second chapter is just being finished right now.
Yeah.
And it's in the format of a web series. So it's going to be 11 episodes of 4 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we follow a 15 years old hero, boy, who is really quite introvert and quite shy, but who wants that summer to have the experience of going out with a girl.
Oh, right, okay.
So
we all did at that age.
Yes. So we have all these little sketches where he's going for it, and around him there are his friends, girls and boys, and they talk about these things too. So that's really the next chapter, because he is like, they are still kids, but they feel something, but they don't really know what it is, and they don't know if it's friendship and more, or if it's love, or a little bit more towards friendship. They want to know. Whereas the next chapter is more about like, what would be a first relationship, really.
Well, so the third chapter will be sort of 17, 18, or 16, 17?
Actually, one of the characters will be 18 years old.
Right, okay. So they really are adults. So.
And at the same time, his younger brother would be younger than those ones. He would be 11 years old.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
And then it's going to be a cross-generation thing. So those two brothers will be just a few years away from each other, but at the same time, they live in two different worlds, because the 11 years old is really, really a child.
Yeah.
And he's living in his dreams, and he's very introvert, and he's a little bit autist. And the older elder brother, he's very extrovert. He's dancing. He's living already a social life. He has a girlfriend. He's like living like an adult. And then there will be the parents and the grandparents. And at the same time, I want to explore with the third one. It's going to be a feature film. The norm. What is the norm at school, in a family, and how it feels to be outside the norm. Because that kid, the hero, 11 years old kid, will be completely outside the norm.
Right, okay, brilliant.
So that would be the triptych for me, the three of these.
That's really, honestly, very interesting. I think we talked about this in the editorial, but I'd be fascinated to know where did you find the children for this one?
So since there is no website for children of that age, because they're not, in Switzerland, they are not supposed to be professionals at that age.
No.
You have to look for them in theater schools and theater workshops. So I went through all of them in my area, in Geneva and around.
So you saw hundreds of kids?
Yes, hundreds.
Well, literally?
Literally, it's over 300.
Oh, God.
To
I would have thought you'd have found your first 10, you'd have said, yeah, that's great, but it's never that simple.
Because I really wanted different characters, different personalities.
I mean, this, for instance, he's a good-looking boy. She's got a very interesting face. I can see they're all very different looking, aren't they?
Yes, they are, and at the same time, the point was that they could be friends in real life.
Yeah.
So that's what we had to make sure during casting, that there is a good feeling when they are all together, and that there is a good communication, and that they look like they could be friends.
Yeah.
And what actually happened is that two of them, this one and this one, actually are still friends today.
Are they? In reality?
Yes. I lost my mic.
Okay, don't worry.
So there was a really good dynamic between them. So Louis and Nicanor really got good friends.
So the whole journey you went on to make this film, did the kind of end justify the means? I mean, is it how you hoped it would be? Because it's difficult working with children, and they're quite young, aren't they?
And actually, what I did for that film, which I had never done before, I didn't tell them the whole story. I didn't give them like the whole script before, because I wanted them to live the adventure. of like going out of town without the permission of the parents.
So it wasn't necessarily ad-libbing, but it was kind of making it, did that make them become more natural?
Yes, actually, they knew they would go out of town, take the train and live an experience in the nature. But I didn't tell them until the last moment what exactly will happen there.
Yeah.
So that they won't get too prepared and they won't set like their own reality about it. So that's just the day before they knew that the next day that will happen. They knew the beginning. They had to learn the dialogues for the whole first scenes, and then there was a point in the film where
it's kind of ad-libbed, is it? Is that what you call it? When I say ad-libbed, were they allowed to say their own thing or not? Or did they have to stick to a script?
Yes, that's what happened during rehearsals.
Right, okay.
So because I wrote the dialogues, but then when I was really set about the casting, of course, when we rehearsed, they added some of their own words, and they said, "No, I can't say that like that. It doesn't sound natural." And I said, "Okay, how would you say it?"
So did they interpret it the way? Yeah.
Yes,
did it work? Then it worked.
Yeah, I think we got a good connection. It was not really always easy, because sometimes kids they don't have the discipline, but those kids really wanted to do their best. So they really made great efforts, but they had really good ideas how to change certain words and so that they could make them their own.
And how did it change you making this film? It did not change you, but did it affect you in any way in terms of how you thought it would be and how it ended up? And
I was really scared actually.
Well, oh right,
I was.
Why? Is it because it was a young cast?
Because with a cast like this, and I felt that during rehearsals, the things were not really always happening the way I expected. You fear of losing control.
Right.
When you work with adults and they are professionals,
and they know they're on the beat. Yeah.
You just discuss things and you agree on things, and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But with kids, it's not really always like that.
Yeah, because they just want to get up and do their own thing. Don't they?
And sometimes they wanted to do their own thing, and I was okay, what should I do now? Because I didn't want to shout, I didn't want to say, hey guys.
Should have just given them a beer or something.
No, but sometimes I had to give them a break.
Yeah.
And say, okay, go have fun, and we continue in a few minutes, because they were not they didn't have the concentration anymore.
And what about? I know this is like your passion project at the moment, this and the other episodes, but I'm guessing there's other stuff that you're thinking about in the background that's completely unconnected with this. I mean, do you have other stories that you would like to tell that isn't necessarily about growing up?
Actually, as a producer, because I produced that film, we have a film that was shot in London.
That has been shot.
That was shot, and that has been shot, and that is being finished at the same time as the web series by a friend, Jan Toderi, and it's called Balls. And Balls. Yeah. It talks about 30-something years old guy who has the Tourette syndrome. Do you know that?
Yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
And he's suffering from it socially, but he realizes that when he sings,
it disappears.
It's it's the story of his life at the moment when he encounters a singing teacher. So I won't tell you more.
No. Is it a serious film? Because it could easily be, if handled well, it could be. I mean, I know you shouldn't laugh, but it could handle it in a certain way. It could presumably be in a comedy, but you've got to be very careful.
But
you've got to be careful.
No, actually, that is a drama.
Yeah.
It may have some humorous touches, but it's not so supposed to be funny.
Okay, and tell me I've got an idea of flavour. So, is this your first foray into films? Have you made other films before this one?
You mean in my whole career?
Yeah.
Oh no, actually, it's really.
Because you're quite young, so I don't know where you.
No, I'm not as young as you may think.
Okay, you look quite young.
Yeah. I'm 43.
No way, really?
Yes.
You look like you're in your 30s.
So people usually think that. Actually, it's really a pleasure to come back here in London.
Yeah.
Since I learned filmmaking here. like over 20 years ago. I was at the London Film School, and that's where I met so many of my friends. And actually, I'm gonna stay at my. He's the father of my godchild. He's living in Finsbury Park.
Oh right, okay.
He's an editor.
So it's not far from here, really.
It's not so far, no.
So what was? Give us a flavour of the films you'd done before.
So
I mean, you've probably done loads of films, but just give us an idea.
Yeah, actually, I made quite a couple of shorts, various shorts. But we started with this friend, Mikaël Wolf, who now became an editor, on his film in 1996.
Right.
We shot a feature film.
So you may have been like 20 then, I guess.
Yes,
basically.
I was 21.
21, Christ.
So 22. And you know, when we were at the London Film School, we were probably one of the last class to do everything on film.
Yes, because of course it went to digital.
Yes, before it went to digital.
But that's an advantage now, isn't it?
I think it was wonderful. I'm really glad I could do that.
So could you cut film now? I know it's probably digital now, but
yes,
could you do it now?
I could still do it, I guess, yeah.
But I assume you do everything digitally, because it's of cost and convenience, of course.
So, so to tell you the story, like we were classmates, we were really good friends with lots of people from around Europe, coming from really a lot of different countries, and every term we had to make a film, a short film.
Yeah, yeah.
And we met that guy. He said he was an actor, and he said I have a script for a feature film that I've been writing for 2 or 3 years, and I really like you guys to make that film with me.
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
And what Balls, or is this another?
No, that was Look Like the Innocent.
Right. Okay.
And that film almost nearly got finished.
So
but
did you
we
shoot
ran
it
out
then?
of money.
So you started to shoot?
It got shot completely in Croydon. And it was about
Croydon, oh dear.
Yes, it was about two bands of youngsters who were fighting about
so drama
issues.
again, another drama.
Like a really, yeah, that was really drama. I know this film is more light.
yeah, I know. It's quite a lot of films, good, thank goodness. And so what's going to happen with the end?
So
go on,
that's how it started. That's like while we were still students at the film school, we shot an independent feature film. I was the camera operator, and my friend was the director. So and since from then on, I met another young actor called Nick Gatt, and at that time we got really well together, and we wrote another story. We thought, okay, they could make a feature film for that little money. We can do the same, and we wrote our own script, and that's when I shot my first feature film.
Wow!
Also between London and Geneva, and it was finished in '98.
So you live predominantly in Switzerland now?
Yes.
Okay.
But since then, I've also wanted to learn classical animation, so I went to Vancouver Film School.
Oh my God!
And I made couple of really small shorts, animated shorts.
So I assume you're working constantly now. You have a lot of a high roster of work.
Yes, but I've been for 5 years working in a film school in Geneva.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
As a supervisor and coordinator.
That must be wonderful, though, to teach people.
I learned a lot. It was
and
amazing.
To teach as well.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And recently I stepped back from it to launch these films.
Make films.
To make my films and not just care and look at students' films, which was wonderful. But it takes a lot of energy and attention, and your mind is too busy to write and do your own things. So for 4 years now, I've been external teacher, so I occasionally go back there. But yes, I set up my own company, Parallax Films, and now it's like we do one thing after the other. In between two films, we make a short, like a music video, and but next time it's this 2018 is important for us because this one is starting his festival career, and the web series is coming out soon, and the independent feature film from my friend. So we have to do some promotion this year.
Here we go. That was brilliant. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Steve.